question is, when we were setting up Overstock.com, how do we develop our sources of supply? How do we negotiate? And so on and so forth. Great question. Yes, we did. I can't tell you how, I mean, the first few years, it was actually me out there with buyers. And like I say, this whole industry of jobbing is a very funny industry. It's not like normal retail. Normal retail, if you're in the supermarket business, you're saying, okay, on November 14th, I want a trainload of peas to come into my warehouse. I'm Safeway, say, a trainload of peas, and they're going to be stacked, you know, cans stacked 4 by 6 by 8, and it's going to be just so. And we're going to give you a 20-minute window in our distribution facility for your trainload of peas to come through. Well, that's the exact. Everything is highly regimented. And the more you go up in mass retail, the more it is like that. When you're at the fringe of retail, it's much more like you're at a convention in Las Vegas of, you know, appliances. And some guy on a street corner says, I've got 317 Sunbeam Mickey Mouse waffle makers, and we're closing out of the warehouse. It's $99 retail, $50 wholesale. We'll give you all 317 in a closeout for $10 a piece, offer good for 5 minutes. And it's two guys, and so you know, I'm on a cell phone with my guys and we're working things out. That's the business of jobbing. It's this really, it's like a spot market. So yes, building in the early days, there was a lot of travel around the country, a lot of working with suppliers and sort of breaking into that field, and it was hard to break into. It was hard to break into. And what we actually ended up doing was we started buying from those kinds of folks until we had reached a critical mass that we could be our own jobber. Eventually we became kind of an Uber jobber, where we're taking these big buys and then breaking them up and selling to those folks who got us into business. So, and then our business model shifted over time. And we started realizing there was somebody that we were constantly buying a remanufactured vacuum cleaner from, Dyson. And we realized, gee, we knew we were always going to be selling these. Instead of them having them trucked to us, we receive them in our warehouse, put them up on the site, sell them. Why not just turn them on our site? And he's back in Chicago. And every time we get an order, we send him it basically electronically. We send him that order, he just drop ships directly. And by doing that, that business took off. In fact, that's about 80% of our business now, is we never touch it, which is amazing to us. 20% of our business is the original business model of buying and bringing stuff in. 80% is creating this platform that those jobbers come on and they load their products. We send them the orders, they drop ship. So when you go on our site, 80% of those products are not actually in our warehouse in Utah. However, we homogenize the whole front-end experience, and we police. We police that. So if who here's ever ordered from Amazon Marketplace? Good. Good to see it's no more. I mean, it's no more than how many ordered from Overstock. It's somewhat, Amazon's Marketplace is something like I'm talking about, but on Amazon's Marketplace, you don't know who you're buying from, you pay them, you don't know if it's going to come or not. If you have a problem, you go back to whoever that person is, like eBay. You go back to that, you hope you get, you know, you've paid them, you hope they ship. If you have a customer service problem, you negotiate with them. We've eliminated all that. That's all within Overstock. So you just are always ordering from Overstock, but on the back end, we're policing these different people to make sure you get your products. So the business model started off with us, when I was in high school, I knew this guy, Charlie, and I was in high school in DC, and this guy, Charlie, was sort of this tough guy that whatever you wanted, he'd say, yeah, I got a cousin in the factory. I know a guy in the warehouse. I'll get it for you. You want a CB radio? You want a car battery? And we didn't know if this stuff was hot. Well, it just turned out that this guy really did, you know, he was a guy who knows people. He really just did know people. And knew people at the warehouses and these. So what we did was we built the company originally around about a dozen Charlies who were out there wheeling and dealing. But like I say, as time went on, we got away. It's not that we've gone away from that, I suppose so much as we've added this other stuff, which has really grown to be the bulk of the business. And that is for all those other Charlies out there in the country who are doing that kind of business and dealing in bankruptcies and closed warehouses and excess orders and stuff, we're the place they can come and sell that product and sell it the quickest and get the most money for it. So we've created kind of an ecosystem for liquidators, and that's really the basis of Overstock.